Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scandal, we can't buy time. You can't fool me again. Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. You touch up line and a resort to crime. You can't fool me again.
What people do in no money, what they at you, it no at you. Covid money, miss away in the yellow rat you. Use the youth, them on the waste, must have mantis statue. Say me like a catch you, but they got in a figure you. Take the spit of money, God, and say that it's not you. On the head, the man above end up, him a got a bet. But it in the kitchen, some a fly by like a patu. My singers and DJs and social media's coming at you.
It burn me.
300% free.
It burn me.
Garbage pile of it.
It burn me.
Give the teacher them raise.
It burn me.
I see corruption fees.
It burn me.
Mash down the people them house.
It burn me.
Every day appear arms out.
It burn me.
Appear money them a thief.
It burn me.
And them a sell out the beach.
Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scandal, we can't buy time. You can't fool me again. Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. You touch up line and a resort to crime. You can't fool me again.
For me say big up all the charities and all of the givers. Some a go like say them powerful, me no make a bigger. The 100 the promises, none of them no deliver. Cut up the youth, they rap and they down in a whatever. Member bowl honey and they lie them tell. Corruption smell and they pocket them swell. When police don't a market like Satan out of hell, go mash up people start like people themselves.
It burn me.
Or they treat the market man.
It burn me.
Or them a treat the cat man.
It burn me.
Or they treat the peanut man.
It burn me.
Or them a treat the dirt man.
It burn me.
Or them a treat the son man.
It burn me.
Or them a treat policeman.
It burn me.
How them a treat soldier man.
It burn me.
How them a treat everyone.
Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scandal, we can't buy time. You can't fool me again.
Stibby-dim day. We in Global TV says certain kind of friend we no cape. And some informer friend we love Lake. We in Global, bona fake friend and bona tape. We in Global, we not promote them, we not support them. Look at them on the cheek, come here represent for. We in Global TV, check it.
Good morning, and welcome to the Global Television Group. It is your program, At a Glance, your morning program. To everyone on TikTok, on YouTube, good morning and welcome. StreamYard still is giving me a warm time. My broadcast slide is not coming into the studio in my usual way, so I have to do it by share screen, but we will still get on with the program to my community party and all my family members, platform moderators, membership holders, video subscribers connected to the shows. Good morning to Kathy on TikTok. Good morning. Marcia Thomas, good morning. Beaton Teach, RJ. Good morning. Sharon Bernard. Rosemary Samuels, Keith Matthews, Sophia Hall, Christine Gilbert, Rose, Jason King, Ethan Brown, Jervis TV, Jason King, Abinasa Cody, Miranda Rana, Michael Wills, Willie Don, good morning. I hope StreamYard don't knock me out of my studio like how StreamYard did yesterday. Cousin Marina morning, wagwan. I have to call Flight Green because it appears Flight Green listens to this program. But we will get to Minister Green when we get to Minister Green. Isn't it, Minister Green? You do listen, don't you? It would appear so, Minister Green. It appears that Minister Green listens to global television, or else Mr. Green have a brand new spanking ideas. Brand new spanking idea that I would welcome, Mr. Green. But provided so not clear. Hold on, let me check my mic settings. Start to read the mic. I trust that the audio is changed now. Please let me know. Let me know that you can hear me better. I have done alteration of the audio. This thing much better, you said. Yes. Okay. Yes, what it did, sometimes this thing alter itself and jump back to the third party camera mic rather than the mic actually in front of me. Rennie Nicholson. Morning, morning. So let us chat along to our slide and see what we've gotten here. RIP to the dead JLP MPs. Shaini Robinson, chief of the dead, but we're still voting for her, aren't we? So we're saying RIP this morning to some JLP MPs. We're saying RIP to JC Hutchinson. Hold on there. We are saying RIP this morning to JC Hutchinson. I don't know if I see the board you want or you want lead line. But we're saying RIP to JC Hutchinson. Quite a few JLP politicians that we need to say RIP to. Even JLP supporters are coming out now against JC, but when I come out a bit too late, but thank God when I come out. Andrew Holness, aren't you seeing the signal that there is discontent with your MPs across the country? So we're saying RIP to JC Hutchinson. So we know how it go. We're also saying RIP to Mike Henry. When is the people of Clarendon, our Central or wherever, when them are going to realize that they deserve to be represented by the living? At what point Jamaica Labour Party supporters, Empress Deb, are going to wake up and realize that political representation must be done by the living? So we're saying RIP to Mike Henry, whole heap of dead politician in the Jamaica Labour Party, you know. Still the pan salary. Name still a call in a parliament. JC Hutchinson, Mike Henry. RIP Mike Henry. RIP to Audley Shaw. A whole heap of dead politician in the Jamaica Labour Party. Verna Adams. RIP to Audley Shaw.
Jamaica people need living politicians to represent them. Jamaica people cannot continue to be represented from the grave. It's not what politics is about. So RIP to Audley Shaw. Oh, I never remember Babsy Grange. Oh, Lord. RIP. I don't even have our picture at the moment, beat and teach. But RIP to Babsy Olivia Grange. Lord, me never remember Derek Sangster. RIP to Derek Sangster. A holy partner, you know. RIP Desmond Mackenzie. No, that Wimper have little life in her. She raised from the grave, will it that? RIP Desmond Mackenzie. Boy, you don't know if I forgot keep one big wahala off a 9-night phone. No, Dalwimple returned from the grave. Dalwimple is how you call Dalwimple I know? Lazarus. Dalwimple Lazarus. Cause she returned from the grave. She's like Trump returning from the grave. RIP. A whole heap of them. We need to say RIP too. Long time. Rosemary Samuels. This is not how political representation ought to be. But the JLP find it possible. Hold on there, what called me? Hello, good morning. Hello? Hello? Never mind these calls. Ransford Nicholson. Good morning. Good morning. So, we have the RIP to the JLP politician them, where they still have a representative from the grave. So we acknowledge, you know. So now representative from the grave. So RIP to Uno politician. But I want to ask Archbishop Howard Gregory. I wonder if you guilty of anything like when name ya Archbishop Justin Welby. Because we know Archbishop Ken or the Holy Father Ken is guilty of an awful lot. We know the Holy Father, Kenneth Richards, is guilty of an awful lot. Adultery, stealing, you name it. I wonder why you're stepping down on the same day that Cliff Hughes have his party and just asking Reverend Father. Just asking why you choose to step down the same day when Cliff Hughes' party. It's just a question. Just a question. Andrew Holness at it again. Curfew, 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 curfew. Section of Reedspen in Portmore. When is this government going to come up with a crime policy to stop, suppress the rights and the movements and the freedom of law-abiding Jamaicans? Ever since the court tell you so you can't use thus and theirs, it become a curfew crime fighting. Because you can't use those on a state of emergency. So it become a national crime fighting tool. Curfew, Prime Minister. has become a national crime fighting tool. I didn't know that was how crime fighting ought to be done. And at the same time, you're telling us that crime is going down all across the country. But it is still the same old curfew you still have to run to when there's a flare-up in an area. If there was proper policing strategy or proper policing tactics, those would have been deployed in hotspots, isn't it, Prime Minister? Kind of Dr. Changa run the national security, you know. Because we notice all the time when it comes to speaking on the national security ministry, it's the Prime Minister always a speak. The Prime Minister cannot just continue to suppress people's freedom in order to fight crime. Where does you ever hear a government impose curfew so often, every little flare-up in an area, rather than you have strong police presence within the area so law-abiding citizens can go about their daily lives while police do their work of sifting out the criminals and the gangs. But at all time, it is a draconian measure of suppressing people's rights and freedom under the guise of crime fighting. John Bailey, it really don't make sense, Prime Minister. If it was working, there would be no need the easy jerk world wagwan to be rolling it out. Every little incident happened, you rolled out the same old tool. Does it not suggest madness? If every time you go back to the same old tool that you're not getting progress from, I wonder why you continue to use it in order to convince us that you are fighting crime. We realize that that is not working, you know. It is why you have to use it whenever there's a flare-up in an area, because there's no proper policing tactics for how to deal with hotspot areas across the country. So you go back to your next best all the time, Feline. You go back to your next best all the time, which is about imposing curfew. And all that does is push the criminal one block further down the road. It really doesn't solve the crime, does it? It's just pushing the crime along. But then again, we do not take advice. Even though with the flight green look like it might take advice, we're going to get to flight green in a bit. But I wonder if Lady Bailey are one of them what Andrew talk about what him say nah doing job, because all of a sudden Lady Bailey come out and talk about mobile police station for crime fighting. I wonder if you are one of them what the Prime Minister say Lady Bailey isn't doing your job. Because all of a sudden the Prime Minister come criticize you, and you run out with grandstanding. Oh, mobile police station, because we want to foster culture where police officers work alongside residents, listening and engaging and building trust. When did you find out that? How long you did it now? And you only just find out? Say that on a need fido community policing. You don't understand the benefit of community policing. You only wake up to the idea now. So me just think say you're one of them where Andrew Holness say because of you, the people them I blame him, say him not the shining plastic that he is. Karen Wagwan, because of you, Lady Bailey, Andrew say the people them say he's not a shining plastic as used to. Now we're moving on to our favorite minister. Minister come up with a brand new idea. I wonder where Minister Barbara Simpson, I wonder where the minister would have got such a brilliant idea from. Minister Green, this is quite some brilliant idea. And I applaud this brilliancy, Mr. Green. Because if done correctly, Mr. Green, I think it will be a game changer. Don't you, Mr. Green? But one could also ask, where would Minister Green have heard such an idea before? Mr. Green, where would you have heard the idea of concreting roads before laying asphalt? I wonder where Mr. Green would have come up with this new idea, because you, Mr. Green, said you're going to run a pilot, you're going to undertake a pilot project. You're going to take a pilot project, Mr. Green. You made the disclosure in Parliament on Tuesday, Mr. Green, that, daisy, I have come up with a brilliant idea that we should concrete our roads before laying asphalt. Wonder where Mr. Green would have heard the idea. I wonder if any globalists would remember hearing such idea presented to the government. Scarlett Harlot. I wonder if anyone on global television would have remembered such a policy argument rolled out on global television, that our road problem or road infrastructure problem is the mall that we are using, and thereby we must stop using the monkey story of the mall and lay concrete, Mr. Green, before asphalt. I wonder where Mr. Green came up with that brilliant idea from, in order to, because when you're running a pilot project, a pilot project is about a new idea, a new product, a new tool that you have come up with, and you want to test the feasibility of it. It's a brilliant idea, Mr. Green. But me no want you take me thing and spoil it. You and I have been communicating since 2018, even though for whatever reason you're afraid to communicate with me these days, Mr. Green. We can develop this policy together. Come in, I want you take it and piss against tree, and then come tell we say it don't work, Mr. Green. Because there's a lot of effort that need to go into this to make sure it works, Mr. Green. So we don't want you to lay 1 inch of concrete then asphalt. No, have it properly based, Mr. Green. At least 6 inches of concrete before you lay asphalt. One of the other issue, Mr. Green, that you need to get right to prevent breakaway from the sidewalks is make sure the sidewalks are properly concreted with drains and paved, Mr. Green, so you don't have that breakaway of the edges, that jagged edges what you normally left. But don't take my idea and spoil it. Yes, you're running a parliament with it, fine, me not a problem with it, but make sure you get it right. All of a sudden, you're in a parliament for about 8-9 years now. And as soon as Global TV talk about this, you come up with brilliant ideas, present a parliament. Yes, it is a good thing, but don't take it and spoil it. Because if you're going to do a pilot project, you must do it so that the effect of it can show that it was positively done, and we can now roll this out across the entire country, Mr. Green. So I believe you say you're going to start with farm roads. But from last year, though, Mr. Green, I gave you another idea. Another idea, Mr. Green, to do with our farming or agriculture also. And that's more so to do with drought and water distribution and regulation for farmers. Irrigation, rather. Water irrigation for farmers. There's a brilliant system in Africa called borehole. We normally call it well, but it's a more modern structure, Mr. Green, where you go deep into the earth, get the water, and then you attach your water pump and your irrigation system. Now, if the government roll this out to farmers as a part of upskilling our farmers with the necessary technologies, Shirley Bogle, Evan Riley, the necessary technology to enhance the agricultural industry. What that would do, Mr. Green, when there's a so-called drought, Kenil, across the country, then our farmlands wouldn't be affected because they have that sustained, Mr. Green, water and irrigation system to sustain their farm. Neville White, in protect them in a way so they don't suffer from the drought that they continue to suffer from when we have this so-called drought across Jamaica. One wonders why Jamaica really have drought when we have so much spring wells, rivers, and falls. If you ever go across St. Elizabeth alone, just ask Flight Green about the amount of water source just in his constituency alone. Just ask Mr. Green. Just ask Mr. Green about his constituency and the amount of water flow. The amount of water flow that St. Elizabeth provide. Ask Mr. Green. Mr. Green will tell you. Kenny, is it Neville? Neville White. I want them to consider this as a national program. as I said last week, Arwen, or pothole problem or bad road problem is a consequence of the mall that we continue to lay concrete on. It's modern day now. That type of infrastructure is outdated. If they're talking about a pothole-free Jamaica, then that's the way to go. We cannot continue to use mall. Mall is the detriment of our roadways because we have a lot of rain, we have a lot of heavy vehicle. So if the road don't build firmly on a firm base, then when rain fall and heavy vehicle move, we gone back in the same old pata galangin. So this ought to be considered as a national program. Mall is a thing of the past. Trust me. Mall is a thing of the past. I don't know why the National Works Agency and any government in power cannot see that this is a policy that should have been rolled out nationally long time. Even when you go into the cities, Montego Bay and Kingston, in the hustle and bustle city, other than them shiny uptown and so on, the road them in a some derelict condition. Lord, you don't want to say Andrew Holness constituency. You don't want to say for Nigel Clark. You don't want to say for Angela Brown Burke. You don't want to say for Babsy Grange. You don't want to say for Flight Green. Remember saying for Flight Green, one man just dropped. This is how St. Elizabeth have water. Where man can drown in a all pothole in a St. Elizabeth. So St. Elizabeth have water. Just ask Mr. Green. Mr. Green constituency alone can provide Jamaica with water. Just Mr. Green constituency alone. So that's why me call drought in Jamaica so-called. You understand? Drought in a Jamaica a so-called. Because I say we can't have so much river, wells, streams, springs, and fall. And then them are going to come tell we say we have drought. No matter heifers, we have a water irrigation and distribution problem. We don't have a drought problem. Like, seriously, we don't. We don't. We turn the water from people to multi-million-dollar, 1,000 rooms hotel. We don't have a water problem. We can turn with local people water and go give it to multi-million-dollar hotel with thousands of rooms. We don't have a water problem. We have an irrigation and distribution problem. So this brand new spanking idea, Mr. Green, where you go run pilot project, do it well. Do it well. Make sure you and the National Works Agency work hand in hand, because this is, if you're running it as a pilot project, you're running a pilot project with the hope to extend it at a wider scale. Isn't it, Mr. Green? Daphne Jackson. So therefore, you and the National Works Agency must work hand in hand with this idea. And it nothing done haphazard like you always do when it come near to election, you use those tactics and fool the people. No, me know say Derek Smith's son but I still Nigel until the election. I still Nigel, as much as he resigned, I still him, because Smith ungo caretaker for now. But remember, for the time when Nigel did it, Nigel have the road rougher than Everard Warmington face. I don't know, Everard Warmington face look rougher than mine. So, just go walking at the Prime Minister constituency, Olympic way and all of them place there. The Prime Minister have one police station in a constituency where you have to come out there careful, you know. You have to drive out there careful because you will drop in a one well right in front of the police station. Ask the police them if I lie me and tell the unstoppable one. Ask the police them if they don't have to take their time calling and queechy when them a come out a police station. I think an Olympic way, if no wrong. I think an Olympic way. You have to take your time come out. Because and say you will drop down in a well. When remember the well where the man and his son car dropped down in a somewhere in a Jamaica where they when Raphael. Yes, them well they exist in a Andrew Holness, the Prime Minister constituency. Them well they exist where police have to take time and drive when them a come out a police station because and say them will fasten in the Prime Minister well. Me not lie. Ask the Prime Minister if I lie, me I tell. It's just that them don't want to own up to them failure. That's why you see the careless Prime Minister, because it's carelessness in a Prime Minister. For you wait till in your 9th year, you come out here and tell the Jamaica people, say, your MP them a fall short. What you did all this time? Huh? You mean to say you just wake up and realize, say, the daffodils and the dumbbells give the service to the people? And you think that's an acceptable excuse? That's how we know say you're fooling us, sir. It's foolism. Because why it is foolism, Prime Minister? You always surface with the whole heap of pretty talk, frat all over the place without substance. Because you know, so frat, once the bubble them burst, there's nothing to see. It's how you promise them go. Because you promise job description, you promise all sorts, you give them raise a pay, and you say, now that they get raise a pay, then you have to do them work. Them have to do them work. So how now? How come now you want us to accept this, Danet Harriet, Daphne Jackson, as excuse that the only reason why you look bad is because your MP them not perform? Don't call Flight Green name in your mouth. Leave my MP out of it. Yes, me not pick up for him, but leave him out of it. When you start blame yourself first, anybody else that want to defend for them careless, thieving Labour MP, me will defend mine. Don't call Flight Green name in your mess. You can call everybody else's name and get away. Don't. Because you were the one who should have pointed out to Flight Green that you're not pulling up your socks there, Mr. Green. You need to prove result there, Mr. Green. So don't call his name. Because as con to him, you were comfortable with what he was doing. You never have a problem with what they do. So don't come blame them now. It stopped with you. You shoulder all of it and leave them out of it. This is backstabbing, Prime Minister. And I don't understand why them attack them like a boy up behavior they from you. That you can come out in a public and throw them under the bus publicly and tell the nation say they're not doing their job? How do you work that out when you are the one who is meant to be managing all these people? You have been managing some of them, Prime Minister, for 8 years. Some you have been managing for 4 years. And at this point, you want to come and tell us, that your MPs and councillors are not performing, and you think that is an acceptable excuse for the nation? You must give us more explanation, Prime Minister. You cannot just jump out and tell us them not perform. You have to be able to explain to us by way of which you measure that failure. And if you indeed, Prime Minister, have a mechanism to measure progress, just asking. Because the JLP them run out on TikTok a flat already. The JLP them run out on a flatter. The issue is, how does the Prime Minister measure failure? And how does the Prime Minister measure progress? Have the Prime Minister done appraisal with his team? Has the Prime Minister given his team job description as he promised? Has the Prime Minister himself performed adequately in order to be blaming some people? Thank you, Catherine. Blaming some people and not shouldering any of the blame for himself. Everybody on TikTok, even the JLP supporters, tap up the screen, please. Tap up the screen. And just don't sit down here and mind people business and not tap the screen. Tap up the screen, please. I want to know, no one there in a secret. Tap the screen, make people know so no there. I want to hide from. Won't hide for. Tap up the screen, make people see so no there. All right. So, if the Prime Minister wants us to accept that his team has failed, then the Prime Minister need to come out and give us more information, Kenroy Johnson. We want to know who are the failing MPs. We want to know the areas that the Prime Minister identified that they have failed in. We want to know what support the Prime Minister is giving them. We also want to know if the Prime Minister have given them task and deadline to accomplish, because Prime Minister, this is how it is done in the employment spheres. If you recognize during an appraisal or just by your own monitoring, Black King, I want shit in your mouth, that I want to. Just by your own monitoring, if you identify that your team around you is failing, Marjorie Goldberg, if you realize that your team around you is failing, then it's not good to come out and say in public and say, it's because my team has fallen short. Your first issue here, Prime Minister, is to address the issue internally. And it's to look at the areas where they're failing in, provide them whatever support they might need to get up to speed, give them certain tasks, Prime Minister, that they ought to accomplish with a particular deadline, Prime Minister, in order to get up to speed. So you can't just come out in public and tell us. You cannot just come out in public and tell us that, oh, well, some of my MPs and councillors are failing. It's not acceptable. It's not acceptable. It's not acceptable for criticism against your team, Prime Minister, if you cannot show that you have given them task, deadline, support. Devon Harriet. Holliet, rather. And then you come out and I come tell we that they are falling short. Falling short of what though, Prime Minister? Budgetary needs? Falling short of experience, qualification? What are they falling short of? Thank you, Family Morals. Thank you very much. You know, there's certain topics for the JLP, them like Rowan Chin and what the other disgruntled one name, them normally run out. And the only thing them can say is a chit ya chat or your bad mind, or what's the other word, PMP propaganda or Andrew Wholeness for life. But I am not making up a story on the Prime Minister. I'm responding to the Prime Minister's argument. It is the Prime Minister that says his JLP MPs and councillors are falling short. I'm not making it up. And this is what JLP supporters regularly do. They go around trolling people, thinking people and make up things for Andrew Wholeness. Do you all not? Okay, Everton Jared come. Hello, Everton, how are you? Long time no see, Everton. You can tap the screen and like, oh, you're there, cuss. Bad man, PMP. Tap up the screen, man. You know, just come. So just cuss, so. Tap up the screen. You can cuss and tap up the screen. It give you more energy for cuss. Everton. But the Prime Minister cannot come and blame him team. All right, Black King, thank you. Thank you, Black King. How you do? How you do? Black King, you look like you're a big man, you know? Oh, God, a big man with grey beard. No, sir. Judgment! Black King. Big man with grey beard, you know? So, Black King, let me ask you a question. You know, I'm not constructive to say. All right, Ron, me know it's a JLP for life. Look like you cut and paste it. Man, bro. Listen, when me say idiot, me have to look upon the face if the face and the conversation connect. And it was quite shocking. This is a big man with grey beard a conversate like this. I mean, do you have children and grandchildren, sir? Is this the way how you would teach your children and grandchildren to communicate or to have a debate about a situation, especially an important one? Is this the way you teach your children and grandchildren to communicate? Because you have to remember, you know, children live what they learn. And you can't talk to me and leave Andrew. No, Black King. May I go back to Andrew? May I go back to thieving Andrew? Where I found before Andrew get elected, Andrew in a money problem. Zara Burton been investigating Andrew way before Andrew Jesleckley, way before the Integrity Commission. And up until today, from Zara Burton days, Zara Burton and Andrew Holness still cannot draw a line under him asset and him financial dealing. And not just the Integrity Commission. So let me talk about Andrew and him crookedness and him backstabbing of him team. Look how when the Integrity Commission report come out with it, look how the whole JLP Black King, me I go play the video upon YouTube so you can listen to it because you hear where go on. The all of them come out and stand fair and square behind Andrew Holness. And you see where Andrew Holness come do now? When Andrew Holness is the most unpopular JLP MP across the country. The truth be told, Andrew Holness and his wife is the most unpopular politician in Jamaica since independence. And they came out and they threw their whole support behind him. And look at what the Prime Minister come out and do to them. Listen to how them support. What is my YouTube? My YouTube is, I broadcast to 3 YouTube channel. The main channel is Producer Wayne Global TV. The second one is Global TV Studios 358. The other one is GTV Group 358. So it's Producer Wayne Global TV. I think the handle is at PW Global TV 358. The other handle is Global TV Studio 358. The other one is GTV Group 358. So those are the YouTube channel. Thank you very much, iFrost, for your support. But what the JLP, I am willing to put 10K if you or anyone can prove that Andrew Holness done anything wrong or thief. Then you have not read the Integrity Commission report. Black King, let me ask you this. Do you understand what FID does? FID investigate corruption, money fraud, money laundering, and all those financial crime. That is what FID investigate. The fact that the Prime Minister was referred to for such investigation speaks loudly. The fact that the Prime Minister feared that investigation to the point where the Prime Minister has gone to the court to strike out Section 14, subsection 5 of the Corruption Prevention Act speaks loudly. The British saying, Mr. Black King, if you have nothing to fear, you have nothing to hide. For the Prime Minister's integrity, if the Prime Minister wants to be cleared and the Prime Minister has nothing to hide, then all the Prime Minister has to do is let the investigators do their job. Why is the Prime Minister refusing to turn over a document that the IC is requesting? Why is Juliet Holnett not responding to the IC correspondent? If you have nothing to fear, you have nothing to hide. Ask yourself, why is the Prime Minister going to court to strike out a piece of legislation that has been in operation since 2002. The problem why the Prime Minister, you don't understand the British phrase. The British phrase, if you don't have anything to fear, you don't have anything to hide. That's how it ought to be read. What it means, if you're not hiding anything, then there's no reason for you to be fearful of the investigators. That's the understandable reading. If you're not fearful, if you're not hiding anything that you don't want the world to know, that you don't want the electorate to know, why are you hiding from the investigators? That's how you must understand it, Black King. Because me like how all the while on a run come out, come defend Andrew, you know. Andrew, we don't even have a lifeline. It is why Andrew turn around blaming his very own amongst him, who, listen what they say, and I mean say so.
That I stand in full support
of the best Prime Minister
since 1962.
Is a man of integrity, love,
And I am very lucky to have an outstanding Prime Minister, a leader that we can be so proud of.
The transformation.
I just gave away 87 black tanks.
Is the best we have had. Southwest St. Elizabeth is in full support. Ladies first. Of
the most honorable, I should say, Dr.
and Jamaica Onis.
How could I not support a leader who is moving Jamaica forward?
And Your Holiness, continue to be the leader you are.
And I'll do everything in my powers to ensure that he
Lead until he is ready to go.
Prime Minister and party leader, and Your Holiness.
You don't speak like someone who I go to college and uni in the UK. I went, Black King. I went. I went. I go to college and uni in the UK. I am doing 20 odd years in the criminal justice department here in the UK. You don't sound, your writing don't sound like someone who has done the tertiary level, is it? I go. Where you come from with this Spanglish? I go. Come on, fix it up. I went, Black King. I went. I went. At what level and what university? So done. A Black King attack, chin. And on me say that, you know, I'm reading what Black King says. If you can read, a Black King say, I go to college and university in the UK. So I'm just saying to him, he should say, I went. Because I went to college and university in the UK as well too, Black King. I don't work in the criminal justice department. I'm qualified to work there based on my studies, Black King. But no, like you who work in the criminal justice system, I don't. Maybe then, Black King, as a person who works in the criminal justice system, you may be able to be well on side to provide the Prime Minister some well-rounded ideas, Black King, in order to assist the Prime Minister with his crime-fighting strategies. In it, Black King, you are well placed to make sure you provide ideas to the Prime Minister. Even though the Prime Minister, his DLP that he did was looking at crime and the effects of crime in Jamaica and the Caribbean. But out of that entire thesis that the Prime Minister has done, you notice the Prime Minister's inability to come up with a crime policy from such a paper that the Prime Minister has done at a foreign university. Clear foreign the Prime Minister going on. The Prime Minister never even got a university of the West Indies to do his doctoral, that they call it, or his doctor of law and policy. I mean, the Prime Minister, Black King, studied a Doctor of Law and Policy. We don't call it Dr. Andrew Holness, but it's Andrew, the correct way it is to be said. Andrew Holness, DLP, because the Prime Minister hasn't got a PhD degree. The Prime Minister does have an honorary doctorate. It's not a PhD. Honorary doctorate and PhD is the two different things. But we don't regularly call him Dr. Andrew Holness. But it's the same way you ought to have said Andrew Holness, DLP, just like you would say Producer Wayne, LLB. You understand? I saw you go. But we don't have it the way around. In order for sound a Prime Minister bright, but for a Prime Minister so bright, you sound hurt to me. No, I'm not hurt. What would I be hurt about? Explain what you think I'm hurt about. Or what it is that you said that I would be hurt about. I don't get that bit. But when you all are coming to defend the Prime Minister, you must defend him with substance. You see, you can't just come and say me a PNP, because if you say me a PNP, you listen to me for the first time. And if you say me a P, if you listen to me for more than no, and say me a PNP, then you're quite hypocritical and don't understand what it means about holding government to account. I don't support any of these two crooked parties. However, Andrew Holness and the Jamaica Labour Party is the leading government, and they are the ones to be held accountable for the day-to-day decisions of our country, you see. So this is where you're a PMP. No, I'm not a PMP. I'm not a PMP. I'm an independent journalist. I'm a social justice activist. That is what I am. That means I stand in line for Jamaica. I stand in line for the people of Jamaica. When Mark Golden comes to office, he will have a wahala to deal with in my corner as well, because I'm not here to support any political party. I'm here to support the people of Jamaica. I'm here to see good policy prevail to develop our country. I'm not partisan. I'm not tribal. I would never drive myself into that tunnel where I rigidly rammed myself into the crevice of a particular political party. And then I become very hypocritical when they've gone AWOL like Andrew Holness has gone, and I'm unable to criticize them. No, I don't want to be the Chopper Johns and the Vegas and all those bullshitters, or the, what's you call that other one who trolled me sometime? What's it or other they are. But no, I don't want to be like those people. I want to keep my independency, so I can hold Mark Golden and throw him up to the wall if he step wrong. I can hold Andrew Holness and throw him up to the wall. That is how I want to place myself in the political spheres and in the social spheres of Jamaica. So don't mix me. Don't mix me and don't draw me in on a political bangarang. Far from that. Very, very far from the whole fluff and the guguzela blowing and the nonsense of it and the selling vote and the drinking at rum. No, no, no. It is why we're not going anywhere. You see. It is why we're stagnant. It is why, what the PMP man the name, Bobby Peters Gill, promised us pothole-free road in 2002. And to the day, we're still drowned in a pothole at Jamaica. How could I support any of those people that for 50 years of my life, The same pothole exists in a Southwest St. Elizabeth. PNP have it for 18 years. Labour have it for 12 years now with a split. Bruce Golden, 4-3 year. Andrew Holness, 8 year. PNP, all of them have failed. I'm not here to defend any one of them. Those of you people in the tribal circle in politics, enjoy no tribalry. But look at cost of living around you. Look at the roads in your constituencies and your division. Look at the water supply. Have street lighting been improved? Are they debushing the roads? Have they cleaned your drains? My job is to call them out. My job is not to support any of them, Brenda Elson. My job is to call them out, hold them and show them up to the crowd and say, look at this. You see, just like how Andrew Holness come out and lift up him MP to the crowd and say, people, look here, the all of them like Dr. Chang in a parliament asleep on me. The all of them there can only say present like Anvars because them deaf and them dunce. It's the truth. Me not make it up. Wait until Mark Golden come on with the battering that Mark Golden gets. I've said it on here. Mark Golden only have 100 days after him win the general election. If Mark Golden cannot implement his 100-day promise, hey, it will be a wahala over the airwaves. It will be a wahala over the airwaves. So no sit down and think to say, me a PMP. Sit down and wait. And then, when we see, it's about Jamaica. And no hold me and draw me into a political corner and circle. Mark Golden is going to win the next election, Black King. Just like I gave the political trajectory of Donald Trump long ago. From Donald Trump re-entered the race, I told everybody that Donald Trump was going to win. Donald Trump win. All of the trajectory suggested that. The polling suggested that. You see, mainstream media poll one Democrat is some of the biggest lie that them ever tell. Andrew Holness, even nationwide, which is favorable to Andrew Holness, even nationwide, Valerie, how are you? Donovan. Even nationwide polling is not going in Andrew Holness's favor. Therefore, if you are not under a rock, if the stone hasn't been rolled away from your grave, you would know and ought to have known that Andrew Holness' unfavorability, miserable leadership, cannot win another general election, or the next general election, not another, the next general election. Could the JLP win the next general election? Under Andrew Holness, no, he's too unfavorable. He's become unelectable. He's a sitting duck. Even the 12% just the other day, Mark Golden, has arisen and passed Andrew Holness by 9%. That's a political trajectory you cannot play with. That's way above the margin of error. So no, Andrew Holness cannot lead another successful general election. Does the Jamaica Labour Party, the next question, does the Jamaica Labour Party have the ability to remove Andrew Holness and revive itself in order to have a greater chance of winning the next general election? Possibly there is a possibility. The question that emerges from that, though, is who of the 40-odd thieves is qualified, one, to take over from Andrew Holness, and two, is likable and electable to the nation. So, Black King, the JLP is in a pickle. As I suggested after the local government election, to give you greater chances, you ought to remove Andrew now. Removing Andrew, instating a new leader. Let me tell you this, the JLP and Andrew going to win 51 seats. Okay, that's fine. No, sir. So which two the PNP are going to lose, you know, Black King? If, as I said, after the local government election, if they remove Andrew, make sure a leader is installed before conference, then that leader would be able to present himself to the people of Jamaica and revive the death of the party. That has not been done. You're all going straight ahead with Andrew Holness because Central Exec said the other day Andrew Holness has been nominated unopposed to continue to lead the party. And that, for me, symbolizes the death of the Jamaica Labour Party. Because what you have to remember here, Black King, we're waiting for 7 more illicit. The Prime Minister's illicit probe has been tabled, and it has been a wahala since, to the point where the Prime Minister is in court trying to struck out the Corruption Prevention Act, a part of the Corruption Prevention Act, something that has never been heard of before. Is my yabbering bother you? Because I could sit down all day, Black King, and give you a good yabbering about the Prime Minister. Is my yabbering getting to you, annoying you now? Because una na learn, you know. Una na learn. Whoa. No, sir. Why, oh boy. We don't understand why the Labour supporter them refuse to have a sensible discussion about where the Jamaica Labour Party is. Because it cannot be that you all are not seeing where Andrew Holness has taken the party. Imagine just a year or two ago, Mark Golding was on 12-15%. 12-15%. Mark Golding took the popular vote at the local government election. It's a message. The Prime Minister and the party has even got weaker since we found out why Juliet was hiding those 2 reports to do with Nigel Clark, the FSC and the TAJ report. The Prime Minister illicit probe surfaced since then. The cascade of how Juliet treated Miss Curtis. There's a rolling cascade within the Jamaica Labour Party, which suggests, look at another thing again, Black King. Look at the conferences, the constituency conferences across the country. Come on, keep tapping the screen on TikTok and take me to 10,000 likes. The constituency conferences across the country are speaking loudly. You're all not listening. Even the Guguzela them can't barely blow. The mic them broke down the stage over green mango in a mango tree. You know you have to look good when a green mango in a mango tree. You know you have to look good for see them. The camera, they can't even turn around the camera. Look at how little the all be with them inner. Them can't turn around the camera to show you. It's another signal. Chopper John running around and threatening people that if you do not support Mama D, you know say the law where Andrew and Siaga put down a violent and gangsterism, we're going to deploy it against you. And I lie me I tell Pan Chopper John. A Chopper John said If the Prime Minister has been brought into disrepute by this, Chopper John is the one who has brought the Prime Minister into disrepute. Listen to Chopper John's argument.
Friends, Mama Day, we have got billions of this youth here. I will never see it yet. You never see me drop my hand yet. Oh, no guy never see me drop. Not even PNP never see me drop my hand yet. I'm saying I'm willing to drop it on you in a way that you will never return. Okay. I remember some have the ambition to do it, you know. Remember that. That is what life you are taking in your bank. So be careful the way you are. Don't mash up the dance. Our dance is in you. I say until the party leader say, Allah. You understand? You have to make it know. Where the leader say Allah. Yeah, man. Simple put. Law. Yeah, man. And when you break the law, there's consequences. Yeah, man. That's your pipe. You gone.
Rowan Chin, Mayor Chin, we call the word in the what's it a rebel. Him not related. Kaya reason just like the man there. Mayor Chin, not related. Why? The law is the law. Also, you say Black King said the law is the law. I don't get your Black King. Did you heard what Chopper John said? You're saying that the law is the law. Did you heard what Chopper John said? But I mean, I understand how una get to full no arm and a leg plus a third. Because una have some real convoluted mentality surround violence and the inability to have a conversation without bringing violence in it or without bringing the pain and the hatred that I notice a lot of you Jamaica Labour Party supporters have been walking around social media with. I saw you all did it to the Integrity Commission. It is an issue where determines anybody don't support the Prime Minister or sing the Prime Minister praises, we're going to move around social media and slaughter them. But what it rather does, it makes you look angry and petulant, and it is not a good look, you see, because what Uno say is that Andrew Holness, no matter what, even when Andrew Holness himself, come out and tell I am failing because my MPs and councillors are failing. I don't know how you walk around those convoluted conversation. Me know Lucky 920. Me know, but it don't say if you have a tough-headed picnic in your class, you have to give up on them. That's not what education is about. The whole of my time at law school, I did not plan to practice. The whole of my time at law school, I just wanted to teach. I wanted to teach law, but I realized it is more beneficial to teach common sense rather than teaching law, because law is quite a difficult subject to understand if you lack common sense, because the law is an ass, a necessary ass, but common sense within the law makes necessary sense, if you understand. So the fact that we have the IC now have no integrity. There you go, Black King. I thought me know so no crazy. The IC don't have no integrity. But the Prime Minister have though. I bet you said the Prime Minister have integrity. The Prime Minister, which was running money, millions, Black King. When the Prime Minister stood in Parliament on the 17th of September and told us that he never remember about those accounts because his parents opened them when he was a child. The Prime Minister, the Prime Minister that was running millions through those accounts. Those accounts that the Prime Minister stood in Parliament and told us he wasn't aware of because his parent would have opened them for him. His parent would have opened them for him. So him not remember anything about them. But while the Prime Minister conveniently forget, the Prime Minister was running millions through those very bank accounts. Stop talk and come with proof. Oh God Almighty, this is where me have to stop. Judgment! Pauno Bombo. No, sir. He said, me fi stop talk and come with proof. Sir, I'm still in broadcast. Hello? Right. Black King said, what I just said about the Prime Minister account, I must come with proof. No, the first part of it, I'll direct you to the proof where I said the Prime Minister lied in Parliament on the 17th of September. But me have to go done with the yes of Black King because, boy, you're one of the one where we have to fling the duster and lick you in your face. And any picking, you know when we are going because you have gray beard, Black King. When me and you go to school, anytime you see one picking a face or head white up, you know, say the dunce one that because teacher have to fling the duster. You know, the first time duster with the milliner put crops in a make, and when teacher use it, you have to go to tree, go hold it and beat it out to get it start out for teacher again. Yes. So we say you have the white dust. Yeah. But let me tell you the first proof. The proof where the Prime Minister lied in Parliament on the 17th. You can find that on PBCJ. Secondly, the other proof that you're asking me to provide of the Prime Minister's bank account that the Prime Minister parent would have apparently opened for him when he was a baby, and the Prime Minister did not remember that, and the Prime Minister was still putting millions through those accounts. Those information are in the Integrity Commission report on the Prime Minister's declaration. I'm not going to read it for you or spoon fed you with it. But if you're asking for the proof, that's where the source of the information is. So you can go look, you hear? But school over, bell ring, and me na make son down me in a school with you. When me have to go home, go mark the sensible picnic them book for come back at school a morning. No, Black King, class done. Go and go do your homework by one, watching the sitting of Parliament on PBCJ on the 17th of September, and two, go and read the Integrity Commission report. And then you ask me if you come with it. My journalistic work and my legal work is never to prove myself to people. It's to provide you information so you go and educate yourself further. That is my job as an independent journalist and an educator. I'm an educator. I impart information to you to assist you to go and look further. All right. 48 of you on TikTok. Tap up the screen, man. Tap and take me up to 20,000 before we go. Good God Almighty. You know, enjoy the program. Otherwise, so much I wouldn't dare. At 7 years, I got school, last school final Black King. I did up to my master's degree, all right? At 7 years, I got a 6 year, I got last school for. As dunce and backawall as my son look and appear, I'm not that quiet dunce, my youth. Trust me. Me brighter than Andrew Holness. Me not ask Christ. Because the bullshit them with Andrew Holness coming up public and talk as a prime minister, I guarantee you, Producer Wayne would never. Producer Wayne would know how to, you licky, you know, Ross, but you tap up the screen. Rowan say, because me licky make me ask the people them to tap up the screen. Okay. Hit the like button if you're on any of the YouTube channel. Make sure you hit the like button. And once again, thank you very much for your continuous support across the global television spectrum. What you say if you do better in a thanks for your support across the entire global television spectrum. We appreciate your support. We're glad that you're here with us. Make sure if it is your first time following us, listening to us on TikTok, that you follow us. We broadcast twice per day. The At a Glance program, which is this one, and 11 p.m. UK time, which is the People's Point of View, as well as we broadcast on YouTube on Producer Wayne Global TV. The second YouTube channel is Global TV 385 Studios, and the third is GTV Studios, GTV Group rather, 385. Thank you for your continuous support as we continue to grow, and Minister Floyd Green is taking our ideas and piloting it. Thank you very much, everyone. Good morning and good afternoon from the Global Television Group. Join us right back here tonight.
We don't feel comfortable sitting in Parliament with a Minister of Government who has openly accepted responsibility, who expresses no regret for the act, where a Commissioner of Parliament has confirmed that the act is corrupt and has referred it for prosecution, and that Minister shows no sign of wanting to resign, or the Prime Minister showing no signs of moving to dismiss the Minister.
With all the sympathy that one can have for support, this is embarrassing, not only to the government as a party, not only the PNP, but to the government, to Jamaica, to all of us. Our heads bow this morning with this sort of reaction to it.
So we have to take firm actions in this regard. It is a dark day for Jamaica, where the Prime Minister is unwilling or afraid to act against a minister in which the public has lost total confidence and in which the institutions of the society are all agreed that this person does not enjoy their trust or faith and has breached the confidence that the people have placed in them. I believe that this has the potential, if it continues, to bring down the entire government.